Morning. Finishing up this project. So I got some scuba tanks. We got them recertified. Talked about it the other day, and they're in my truck, even strapped down. They're rolling this way, rolling that way. So I built this little project, this little stand to hold my tanks in my truck, and I think the missus' car too. I think it'll fit in her car too. Anyway, putting these handles, finishing this up, but I want to talk about why I stopped chasing more. Most of my life, I thought that was what you're supposed to do. I thought that was the answer. More money, more stuff, more responsibility. And somewhere along the way, recently, I just kind of figured that it's really affecting my peace. It's taking away from my peace. But that's where I kind of want to talk about. Money solves problems. It does. But if you let it, it creates problems. We use money in the wrong way. We just do. But let me get this on and let me sit down here because it's kind of deep. I'm sitting here hurting my legs. Perfect. It's raining out, so I just finished up that project with that scuba tank holder. I'll show it at the end of the video. But anyway, back where was we? Oh, money. So we was back talking where we left off. So money solves problems, but money also creates problems. I love to travel. I love adventures. I love doing stuff. I like buying stuff. So, it requires, you have to have money. You're going to have to pay the electric bill. You're going to have to pay the house note. You're going to have to pay the car insurance. You have to have money, but we do it in the wrong way. Every year I'd say I needed more money. I stress about it. I try to figure out what I could do at my job to get a bigger promotion or more responsibilities or a bigger bonus. And the truth is, it's not how much money we're making, it's how much we're spending. And the truth of it is, what it should be is, how much are we saving? Just buying extra. Now I have more job responsibilities. It's just unbelievable. I no longer do a standard work week. I'm on salary, so I'm working on night times. I'm working on weekends. And most of it's just for me, to try to make sure I'm ahead on the scheduling. Everything, it's so much stress. The paperwork, doing everyone's time, making the profit margins. The damn weather when you're trying to pour concrete. This is what we're going to be fighting on Tuesday. It's going to be 16 degrees, and we're going to try to figure out how to pour concrete with blankets and heaters. It's all the extra that sometimes we don't need. We push ourselves because we say we need more money. That's not it. So again, there goes more of my time. Working on, like I said, night times, trying to figure this out, making phone calls, weekends. It's just more of my time that I'll never get back. Never get back. Then more stuff starts taking over. Owning multiple vehicles, at the end of the day, you're doing more maintenance on them. You're paying for more gas, keeping the tires up, and then paying the registration fees that come in every year. You're paying more on that. It's kind of like growing tomatoes. Let's use this one. I like this one. So when you grow tomatoes, say you got 10 tomato plants, and you get enough tomatoes off of them, and you love tomato sandwiches. So you got the mayonnaise and the pepper, and you're eating these tomato sandwiches, and you're just loving it. Next year you grow 100 tomato plants. So now on these tomato plants, you're having to pull the weeds, you're having to water, you're having to fertilizer, which costs you more money. Now you got so many tomatoes that you can't even process them, and now you dislike tomatoes and you can't even enjoy a good tomato sandwich. There's a balance of it all. There's a balance between funds and fun. I like that. Funds and fun. There's a balance between the two. You just got to work that. Take pets. Now, this is going to be kind of touchy for some people. I have had so many pets, and I loved every one that I've had all the way up to the end. But let's take one little example. When I lived in Alaska, there was this shelter, and they was going to put this little husky mutt down. This is a little mixed breed, and they was going to put this dog down. He'd been there too long. They can't see any progress with him. So I go pick this dog up, and it took a little while to get this dog, friendly and everything. Become the best dog ever. So we would go fish and hike together. We're building this little homestead out in the middle of bush, Alaska, and we're going to get firewood and everything, and he'd be in the water and on the ice, and his feet be freezing. I'd put booties on. Anyway, so then I rescued 3 more Malamutes, thinking I'm going to have myself a dog team. And I did. I had several dog teams. I had sleds, and man, it'd be great when you can run them dogs, especially at night time in the snow. But when I had time to run them, I spent more time maintaining their houses, shoveling the snow off of them, maintaining the cables that they was tethered to. The food, I'd go through $600, $800, $1,000 a month. So I'm having to work extra to do this, maintaining trails. And at the end, it sounded great, but mostly I ended up spending time in the yard with my dogs. And when I could have been just as fine with one dog. Yeah, I wouldn't have been running sleds, but you got to think about the good ideas, how much money it's going to cost. I miss the dogs, and every one of them, let's let y'all know, I don't have any more dogs, but every one of them dogs I held until they passed. I put them down. It's not trying to make a sad story, but they were old age, 10, 12, 13 years old. And after the last dog, I said I would never put one. I'd never have another one. But that's just an example. Everybody should have pets. I'm not saying don't have pets, but just know what you're getting into. I remember my dad having 15 hunting dogs. We spent more time training hunting dogs than hunting. Anyway, that's another one. Ownership means obligation. Whatever you own, you got to upkeep it. You got to take care of it. Some things you got to have, some things you don't. Commitment. More commitment means less life. Joining organizations, joining different clubs, and as long as you're interested in that hobby, stay with it. If you're not, it just takes up more time because you're doing it for whoever's in the club or in the organization. My calendar's, full. And I'm not saying my life is empty, but the more your calendar is full, the less that you have a life. But not anymore. I'm starting to X out some of them weekends, and there's going to be for me, or it's going to be for my family. Some of these weekends are, the weeks, I get it, they were for work. And I try to do my best to keep it at work when I can. Full schedule. I don't have no time to breathe with it. Time for rest. This is going to be the new one, and it has been. I've been making more time. Dude, I took a nap the other day. I don't take naps, and I woke up just refreshed. So now it's like, well, maybe sometimes during the week I might just go take a nap, reboot. Time for myself without guilt. This is becoming more, and let me see if I can get this. Don't take away from your family. I'm not saying, disregard your family, disregard your coworkers. I'm not saying that. Make sure, your kids got band practice, you're there. Make sure you're there for your wife whenever, she wants to go out and do something. But make time for yourself, and don't feel guilty about it. Put yourself in a place that you can do stuff for yourself, with yourself, just because. and I'm not telling anybody how to live. This is just how I'm changing my life. You know, what is enough? I've been clearing out. You know, I like to camp. I like to hike. Backpacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet you I had 8, 10 backpacks. One to go fishing, one to go overnight, one to go hiking, one for cold weather, one for long trips, short trips, one for backpack for hotels. Now I probably got 3. You know, how much is enough? How much money in the bank is enough? You know, some of us don't have any money. That's why we're still working, obviously. But there are some that they working to keep the insurance, to keep this. There's alternate ways, and I'm working on trying to figure that out too. Tell me in the comments where your enough is, and if you've already retired or if you're already trying, tell me what you've done. Tell me what makes it easier, because man, I am there. I am ready. I want to know what everyone else is doing, what they've gotten rid of. You know, did they need it? Did they not need it? What did y'all do when you said, I've got enough, or I've had enough? And that comes from work, possessions, money. We never have enough money. We win the lottery today. Man, I'm just gonna go live on a cruise ship. But anyway, tell me in the comments y'all's thoughts. It's fixing to get bad out here, this rain. Go finish up this thing on these super tanks, and y'all be safe. I'm out. All right. We're doing this in the rain. But you know I want to get that video out.